Hey, how you doing? This is Coach Karvell Bailey, and have you ever heard of the 12-second rule? Have you ever heard of the 12-second rule? Probably not, and I hadn't heard of it either, right? We've all heard of the 5-second rule. We've all heard of the 3-second rule, but not a lot of us has heard of the 12-second rule. So, as a young coach, I would love to see a couple officials on my games. It was a guy named Clarence and there was a guy named Reggie. I love to see them on my games because they really, really took the time to help me and to teach me the game through their officiating. And so after a while, these officials, after the game was over and they would get dressed, they would kind of give me pointers to be able to help my team to be able to stay motivated and to be able to use the rules to an unfair advantage. And so what started to happen was they would come out. They would come out like every semester almost and speak with my players and just teach them the rules of the basketball game so that they understood better what officials look for, what the rules were, and how they could use their talents and their skills to be able to take advantage of the rules to be able to help them in any situation. And so the 12-second rule, again, these two officials used to come and speak to my players and help me to help my players. And see, I got my Mamba Out shirt on today, right? Kobe Day. Today is Kobe Day. But anyway, so it was broken down to my players, the 12-second rule. And so the 12-second rule is this. You have 12 seconds to have the ball in your possession while being closely guarded. So I'm going to say it again. The 12-second rule is the amount of time that you can have the ball in your possession while you are being closely guarded. The 12-second rule. And I didn't really understand it. And then the way it was broken down to my players, and it clicked, and we were all like, aha. Now you know that there's a 5-second count if you're closely guarded and the ball is passed to you and you have the ball in your triple threat position, whatever it may be, and you're holding the ball. You only have 5 seconds before the official blows the whistle, and that's a 5-second count because you haven't done anything with it. And then we also know that if you're being closely guarded and you're dribbling the ball, now, right, not on a college level anymore because they changed the closely guarded rule. But the closely guarded rule in high school and on the lower levels is if you're closely guarded, which means within 6 feet, okay, which is why most coaches will tell their players to extend that arm, because if you're 6 feet from the basketball, the official has to start a count. And so if you're closely guarded, that's what closely guarded means, 6 feet or closer. So if you're closely guarded and you're dribbling the ball for 5 seconds and you haven't created that space of further than 6 feet, it's a 5-second call. Both are violations. So you can have the ball in your possession while you're holding it, being closely guarded, looking for something to do, somewhere to go, dribble it, pass, shoot it. Once the referee gets to 5, it's a violation. It's a turnover. You can be dribbling, closely guarded, 6 feet or closer. 5 seconds or more, that's a violation. So here's what the 12-second rule is. And big ups to Reggie Hamilton. Rest in peace, man. Rest in peace, Reg. Ryde, as you always say, man, thank you for all the help and jewels that you gave me early on in my coaching career. So the 12-second rule is this. You have 4 seconds to have the ball in your possession being closely guarded. When the official gets to 4, the moment you put the ball down, the official now has to count on their other hand. Now, you're still closely guarded. You have 4 seconds to create space further than 6 feet. Once you do that, the referee has to stop counting. But if you're still closely guarded, so you're holding the ball, 1, 2, 3, 4, you bounce the ball. The ref has to change hands, change counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you can pick the ball up, right? It's not a double dribble. It's not a travel. You held the ball, triple threat. You bounced the ball. You got a whole nother count. Now, as you're bouncing the ball, being closely guarded for 4 seconds, if you don't pass the ball or shoot the ball, you can now pick the ball up and hold the ball again for another 4 seconds. So that's where we get our 12-second count, right? Our 12-second rule, as Reggie Hamilton broke it down to me. You have 4 seconds to have the ball in your possession being closely guarded. You have 4 seconds that you can dribble the ball being closely guarded. And then you can pick the ball up for another 4 seconds while being closely guarded. So you can have the ball in your possession up to 12 seconds while being closely guarded, and it'll never be a turnover. So for my athletes out there, right, you should be able to, if you don't need the ball in your hand for 12 seconds, but after 12 seconds, if you haven't found anything positive or constructive to do with the ball, it should be a turnover. But just know that you don't have to panic. You don't have to get frustrated. You have at least 12 seconds to be able to make a basketball play while you're being closely guarded. All right, parents, please share this video with your student athletes. Get them to understand, because even though they may be able to play and do everything physical, it's about being mentally smart, mentally sharp, mentally tough to understand the rules of the basketball game and how to use those rules to your unfair advantage. Does that make sense? All right. So, again, I'm Coach Karvell Bailey, and if you need any, if this video made sense actually, and you want to get more information on how to just better your athlete, make your athlete a better performer on and off the court, and want to be able to help get some more ideas and learn really 3 keys to getting your kid a scholarship, then you can go check out my free case study video that I made especially for that, teaching parents the 3 biggest myths to getting their kid a scholarship, and it'll be to help you to understand better things that you can do and things you don't have to do to be able to help put your son or daughter, your athlete, in better position to earn the right scholarship for them. So go check out that video at b2bsdhoopsmastery.com. That's b2bsdhoopsmastery.com. Again, this is Coach Karvell Bailey. On behalf of Reggie Hamilton, rest in peace, Ryde. Thank you for everything, especially educating me on that 12-second rule. All right, Coach Karvell Bailey, peace. It's Mamba Day, baby.